Live?
Of course we're live.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this special winter solstice candlelight edition of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar.
Winter solstice.
Happy winter solstice, everyone. And happy birthday, Raymond. We all know it's your birthday today.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah, what are we talking about today? We're talking about Aquaman.
Aquaman.
So Omar and I got a chance to go see the movie last night, and we have some thoughts about it, right, Omar?
I mean, I've got thoughts.
Yeah.
Of course I've got thoughts.
So for those of you who haven't seen the film yet, obviously you know it comes out in theaters this weekend. If you haven't seen it, watch the first half of this trailer or this first half of this review and then tune out because we're going to talk about spoilers halfway through the review.
Yeah, we'll let you know way ahead of time when we're about to talk about spoilers. And we're both keeping an eye on the chat. And yeah, ready to talk about Aquaman.
Yes, awesome. So as you guys know, Aquaman has some pretty stiff competition this weekend with Bumblebee coming out, Mary Poppins coming out, and it already has a few other films, family films, that have been doing well at the box office. So we're interested to see if this entry into the DCEU is really going to hold up and be a moneymaker for him. And I think, based on what I've seen last night, I definitely think it could be. To me, this movie is definitely a popcorn flick. It is something that's fun to go see. The action is enjoyable. The set design is beautiful. And it looks like everyone in the film is, for the most part, having a pretty good time. So if that's what you're looking for in your movie, this is definitely the movie you want to go see. For a little bit of background, Aquaman, it is directed by James Wan.
Who did is it Insidious and...
Yes, and Conjuring. Yeah, he's heavy into the Conjuring universe. He directed those movies.
I did find an Easter egg in there. I remember looking at
That's right, you did. That's right.
I'm not going to say what it is yet.
We'll talk about that in the spoiler scene.
But yes, if you're a fan of his horror movies. It was interesting. This is his first superhero work, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's first real, like, outside of the horror genre. Because he produces a lot of the different horror movies, too, in that realm also. So it's interesting to see him take on something completely 180 and completely different from anything he's ever done before. And I think he's made some good decisions in the movie. And I guess,
the first Saw movie. Thank you, Ray.
Yes, in the first Saw movie. That's right. Exactly.
I'm with you. I think visually the movie was really beautiful. I thought the environments were awesome. Yes. It reminded me a lot of Avatar. Not as wonderful and lush.
Yeah, not James Cameron's level.
James Cameron, but it was still pretty good. Yeah. And
it was a lot brighter than a lot of the other DCEU movies we've seen before, which was a nice change of pace. We like Justice League and Batman v Superman. They were very dark. Like as far as the overall color tones and the whole schematic was very dark. This is a much brighter universe, much more comic book-esque, if you will, in my opinion. There was definitely not a more of realism there.
Right. Well, with Gotham, it makes sense. Gotham's also supposed to be dark.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with Metropolis or, Wonder Woman, the Amazon,
the World War, yeah.
But the building of the world, I thought was pretty interesting to take it underwater. It was it was nice. It was a nice change of what I'm used to in the DC universe. Mm-hmm. I think, to me, this was as good as Wonder Woman. But I'm not one of those people that was like, oh, Wonder Woman, it really broke all kinds of new ground. Wonder Woman was a good movie, but that's what it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't the greatest movie. It wasn't like they reinvented the wheel. But it was a good, fun movie. So was this. This was a good, fun movie. There's a lot of things I will say that I didn't like about it. But for the most part, for what it was, I think it was a good, fun movie. Visually, it was really nice.
Yeah, and there was, just to kind of delve in a little bit of the plot. Now, it takes a lot from the New 52 comics. Luckily, we had a chance to read it.
This right here, Jeff Johns, he looks more like the Peter David character of Aquaman, though. The hairy, long hair kind of guy that Peter David wrote during his run. But a lot of it is borrowed from here. A lot of the elements for this movie, such as the storyline of how it all begins, like his mom and his dad meeting together, and who kind of trained him to become the character that he grows up to be.
Exactly.
You have the characters that we've seen in the trailer, like the Trench and things like that. Those all come from the story.
Exactly. I was very excited to see them on the screen too. I thought they were well done.
I thought they looked great.
They
looked creepy, and I would see a sequel with those characters.
Yes, I agree.
But yes, a lot of things were borrowed from this, and
even Orm and his, I mean, I'm sure he's done it in other comics too, but I just remember Orm, his War on the Surface World, right?
Oh yeah, he even looks like
Very
Ocean
much.
Master, the way after he puts on the suit and things like that,
the helmet,
the whole tidal wave coming to Earth and him claiming a war on the surface world. I thought that was really cool because that's the way that it all plays out during the New 52.
Yes.
Jeff Johns run. So I was happy to see that, and I'm happy that they borrowed elements. And he was, he was credited as co-writer.
He was, yes.
God, I hope he didn't write the dialogue because that's one. That was one of my biggest issues with the movie.
Especially the first 20, 30 minutes of the introduction. That's where I had.
Well, and here's the thing: it's one of these movies. I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know if the director wanted to go that route and knew what he was doing. I mean, for God's sakes, he casted what's his name, Dolph Lundgren. Dolph
Lundgren, what a surprise! I did not know he was casted in it, so it was a surprise to see him.
I saw him in the trailer, but I didn't know he was playing this, kind of a bigger character. So once you cast him, I guess you kind of know what you're getting into, maybe. But a lot of the dialogue just seemed really cheesy, and I think that's what he was trying to do.
It was intentional. At first, I wasn't sure about it. There's some stuff in the beginning. There's one that he mentioned specifically that was everyone thought was an awe moment, but Omar kind of laughed at it. That Nicole Kidman, Queen Atlantis.
Oh, the dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue.
some of the dialogue felt really, really short. A lot of the humor felt short. Like it was almost sad because some of the humor between Jason Momoa and Amber Heard, when they're joking around, that people were supposed to genuinely laugh at. I don't think anybody in the theater was laughing.
It's not our theater.
At least, maybe our theater was full of people that are a bunch of haters and don't have a good sense of humor.
We did have a kid behind us. Who knows? I don't know.
And that was another thing, like the chemistry between the characters. I didn't feel anything at all.
Between the two of them?
Between them. Yeah, the only one really was Nicole Kidman. I wanted to see more about Nicole Kidman and his dad.
Yes.
That would have been a good movie to me. But for what it was, I think I enjoyed it. Dialogue aside, because I really, like I said, I really think I think this was perfect. It had to have been on purpose. The way
it had to be. I agree.
The way he was doing this, almost like an anime kind of movie.
It felt very much like that.
Yeah. Like really, like Dragon Ball Z.
Over the top dialogue with
over the top screaming. The villains just yelling, and I'm like, okay, this is like watching a live action anime or a live action video game.
Yeah.
So maybe the dialogue is supposed to be like that. So that's why I kind of gave it, a break. Like it wasn't like I brought it down 3 grades or anything because the dialogue was that bad. But the thing that I did think was an issue was the way that this movie felt like a bunch of different scenes from different movies put together. The scenes from the wonderful, beautiful underwater. Yeah. To this adventure Indiana Jones style of movie felt a lot different. Like when they're in Italy, for example. Yeah. It's kind of...
It just switches gears,
rom-com.
Right? Yeah, it is a
when
rom-com.
She's eating the flowers.
Actually,
and even the music and the tone.
It's one step away from Little Mermaid. Honestly, I was waiting for her to put a fork in her hair and start combing her hair because she was eating a flower and all that stuff. And
Is it worth watching in 3D? Joe Chip is asking. I think so.
Oh, I would agree. Yeah,
like
the special effects are.
The minute you're diving in underwater, it is beautiful. I mean, I saw Avatar in 3D, so I would imagine this looks just as beautiful.
Exactly.
But yeah, even that scene. In the scene where they're in the desert and they're trying to figure out this mystery, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Trident, yeah.
That felt like a different movie than when she's being this amazing, wonderful scene where she's being chased in Italy on the rooftop.
Great. Yes.
And it's all in the trailer, sadly.
Yes. That's extended cut trailer.
These trailers revealed a lot. Like, I didn't know how badass of a character Atlanta was going to be, his mom.
Oh, yeah.
But in the trailer, they revealed that she's fighting all these guys, and I'm like, oh, come on, why did I need to see that? I kind of wanted to be shocked. But she was one of my favorite, Nicole Kidman was one of my favorite parts about the movie.
Actually, her and Amber Heard to me were some of my favorite characters.
She was okay.
I enjoyed Mira. I thought she was a strong character, and I enjoyed her and loved Nicole Kidman in this. And she didn't fall trap to I've been stuck in the hidden world. Oh, well, that might be a spoiler, guys.
Well, I was going to say, and honestly, I like Jason Momoa for Aquaman? This type of Aquaman. Yes. If this is the type of Aquaman they're going for, then I think they did the right job casting that guy.
Yeah.
Because that guy really, there's a whole scene in a bar when these guys are trying to take selfies with him.
So great.
And that's the way Jason Momoa is. If you ever according to Amanda.
If you watch his Instagram account, that is pretty much who he is.
Okay, so yes, according to Amanda, that's who he is. That's what she said while we were watching this movie.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, he was quite enjoyable. I like this take, and you all know if you've watched Old Reader New Reader, I really enjoyed looking at this Aquaman.
Yes, this is how Amanda likes her Aquaman.
Yes, but I do love Jason Momoa too, and yes, Lloyd, he is shirtless throughout the movie. That's not a spoiler, right? That he would be shirtless.
I mean, come on, let's call it what it is. He's shirtless, so the moms could be like, "Yeah, I'll go take you to see some fucking Aquaman, son." Kid's like, "Hey, mom, can we go see Aquaman?" Hell yeah, we're gonna go see Aquaman with or without you, kid. So I think, yeah, there was a lot of cheering, a lot of ladies out in the theater. Well, I don't want to say just ladies. There was a lot of people happy because as soon as he shows up, he's got his shirt off. So
yeah, it was a good time.
But yeah, Jason Momoa, for what it was for this kind of character, sure.
Yeah, Raymond was asking if it's better to read the New 52 books before seeing the movie. I would say it wouldn't hurt, but I don't think you need them to enjoy the movie. Just it's a fun little Easter egg. Oh, I remember that from the New 52.
Yeah, they do change some things around too. Some of the betrayals and things like that from the book, and some of the characters are changed a little bit.
Exactly.
Some of the mythos too. So, but the person that I think stood out the most to me, besides Nicole Kidman's character, was what is the actor's name? He was in Watchmen. He plays Orm in this.
Patrick Wilson. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that guy anyway. But man, he was so over the top awesome. I loved him.
He was a good bad guy.
I wish I could say the same about Black Manta, because Black Manta for real looks like the comic book.
Looked exactly like the comic book.
And honestly, you know what? All these characters look like their comic book counterparts. Every one of them look like they stepped right out of a comic book. So I'm really happy with the way the movie looked like.
The costume design was perfect. I think.
Absolutely.
Yes, agreed.
The CG effect and use of just makeup and stuff on half of the people, that was really cool for the fishmen and things like that.
Oh, the fishmen were great.
They didn't just use a bunch of CG, even though you see a lot of that in the trailer. Yeah. Some of it was put on makeup. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. But no, the guy, man, Patrick, man, he killed it as Ocean Master.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that character. He was great. He reminded me of anime villains, man. When he put that mask on, I was like, oh my God, it's Ocean Master. Yeah. That's awesome. But like I said, I wish the dialogue wasn't so bad for Black Manta. I wish that I had liked him, because the actor seemed like he did what he could with the dialogue and the role.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about why I did not like him as much
when we get to
here in a little bit. But yeah, for what it is, it's a fun movie. It really reminds me of a movie I would have seen during the summer.
Yes, it is.
So much so, not so much so in December. So that's kind of weird. But hey,
it's a good time to come out though, because Christmas break's coming up. A lot of chances for everyone to go see it. So I don't say
it's going to get destroyed by Mary Poppins.
Well, I don't know about that. It already made like 13 million in previews alone, and Mary Poppins only made 4 million on its Thursday night showing. Let's not get too carried away.
We will see.
Omar just wants Mary Poppins to beat out Fantastic Beasts too.
And that's not a problem. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Was there anything else we can talk about spoiler free? The dialogue, the score. Well, actually, I like the score. The score itself was really good.
Some of the songs choices.
Well, that's not the score though.
That's not the score.
That's the actual sound. The soundtrack, no. God, no. The soundtrack's atrocious. I'm sorry. Modernizing Toto is wonderful.
Which is actually Pitbull. It's on there. It is on the soundtrack. If you go to the soundtrack on Apple Music, it's Pitbull's, and they sampled Toto's Africa.
Oh, it's horrible. But the score I really liked. The themes for all the characters was really. It stood out to me so much so that I was looking forward to hearing them again the next time the characters showed up on screen. The fight scenes were amazing. I think.
Yes.
He did a really good job with the faraway shots, so you could clearly see the fights that are going on. And even though these characters are in gigantic, like, armored suits, they moved really smooth.
Oh, I agree.
And I like the way they look visually when, like, limbs are being chopped off or they're getting hurt. I like the way that the weapons are handled too. The way that they do them, they're really cool. So
yeah, fight scenes are one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah. And I think, that's all I got to say about that. It's a fun summer flick that you can go see in December.
Yeah.
But just know what you're in for. Just some goofy, cheesy fun stuff.
I mean, it's definitely has that cheese factor, which, I mean, but when we think about Aquaman, he's always been, the butt of the joke? Because everyone's
That's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault, but that's just how it is. So I think James Wan is almost playing to that fact. Like,
well, he had the choice. He had the choice to direct Flash or Aquaman. He chose Aquaman because he's the underdog. So maybe he wanted to. Yeah, he absolutely wanted to propel him.
He's made him a badass, so there's no doubt about that. Not that he always has been, but
I think that's more of Jason Momoa too.
Well, that's true.
When you cast Jason Momoa, you kind of know what kind of character.
I hope you would.
You're not gonna.
He's not gonna be a sensitive sweetheart.
He's not a timid guy, right? He is all in your face.
Yes.
So that goes, that goes to Jason Momoa as well. Which I guess goes back to Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder did a really good job casting Gal and Jason Momoa for the kind of characters that you wanted on screen.
Exactly.
So you want to take it as spoilers, or is there anything non-spoilery you want to talk about?
No, I say let's talk about spoilers, and because that's what I really want to talk about. Because I think I almost gave something away.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So let's talk about spoilers, everyone.
I'm gonna write it in the chat.
And Omar's writing in the chat. So if you have seen this movie, stay tuned. If you don't care about spoilers, keep watching. So one of the things that we were talking about with with makeup, for instance. If any of you have seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, a lot of people had a problem with the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer's character was stuck in the quantum realm for all those years, and she had she was perfectly made up. And so there's a part where you find out, so throughout the entire film, you think that Queen Atlanta is dead. She has been executed by Atlantis. Well, come to find out, during their hunt for the Trident, she actually made it through the trench and has been living in the hidden core world for 20 years. And we were like, Omar's like, she better not be all made up like Michelle Pfeiffer. And she wasn't. She looked like, she had a little bit of makeup on, like some, maybe mascara, but that was kind of coming off, but she wasn't completely made up. So that was that was what I enjoyed about the makeup and the costume design. Like when they were wet, you could see it. And it wasn't like they were still, even the women weren't all just like made up. They made it more realistic. And that says something about that.
I love the way they looked underwater. Even, with the special effects that they make it look like they are underwater. When they talk, they have not that horrible, no, I don't want to say horrible because it was my childhood. The merman from He-Man.
Yes.
That talks like that. Like nothing like that. But you could kind of tell, there's like some bubbles in their throat or something. I thought that was really cool.
Because it sounded a little bit different. I thought that was a really unique touch to do it. They just didn't sound like regular people just talking underwater.
By the way, the Easter egg I found was Annabelle. She's at the bottom of the ocean when Mira goes and gets her ship, her water ship. She's like, come down here. And the very, very bottom, she's got this little ship. And when the ship is coming out, Annabelle's just sitting down there underwater. So that was little Easter egg for those horror fans of the Conjuring and Annabelle, I guess.
Yeah. So let's talk about, you mentioned earlier about your problems with Black Manta. And so we're talking about spoilers now. So do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, my problems with Black Manta is he seemed like a really cool character, other than the cheesy dialogue, like when his father's dying, he was like, you gotta live so you can go kill that bastard. I'm like, man, that's just really in your face. I get it, Dad. The dude killed you. I know what I need to do. Your last breath shouldn't be like, you gotta go and avenge me, son.
Yeah.
But I feel like we didn't need him in this movie.
No.
Like there was no purpose that he served because he was in it, and he showed up at the beginning as a pirate that's stealing the submarine, right?
Yes.
But anybody could have done that. And then he shows up in Italy as
basically as Orm's liaison, right? So Orm was basically paying him off to pretend that the surface world was going to war with them. That could have been anyone. It didn't have to be Black Manta to do it. And when Black Manta is such an important character to the Aquaman lore, I almost felt like he got jilted in the movie because he didn't have enough time to really develop his story.
So
it was so quick.
It was so quick how he came and went, and he didn't die because of the. You were like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, he's not dead.
I was like, that was quick.
So in the after credits, he shows up, and you're like, oh, I guess he's not dead because Dr. Shin shows up with him.
Yes.
Dr. Shin was one of the characters again in the Jeff Johns run.
Yes, he's in there.
Played by, I cannot remember his name, but he also plays Agent Wu in the Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Yes, he does.
Which I hope that means we will eventually get an Agents of Atlas movie. And now I'm talking about Marvel movies. But yeah, that was that and the dialogue was my biggest issue. because a lot of the times I really felt like, man, this is way too cheesy, even though maybe it's purposely supposed to be comic booky cheesy. I don't know. Man, that was my main gripe about the movie. That, and I don't think they knew, like, the way that the movie was moving. It felt like different scenes from different movies put together. Yeah.
And that's the only thing I think that was, if you're not going to see a movie just because like, if you just want to have a good time, this is the perfect movie to go see. I mean, it's.
I beg to differ. I'd rather go see Bumblebee, but that's me, and we will talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, it was hard for us. We watched that as well, and that review is going to be out tomorrow. So it's hard not to compare the two as far as character development, plot, and overall story.
But the chemistry between the characters in this movie, I didn't care. Like, that's the problem too, for me at least. When I go and see a movie, if I don't care about the characters or their relationships, halfway through this big giant battle, I don't. Yeah, sure, anybody can die, and I'm like, whatever. Yeah, the characters that I really did care about were his mom and the dad. That I would have seen,
and getting to see them come together at the end was very exciting. I like that little ending, seeing her finally get to go back to him after all this time, because now her actual betrothed husband is gone and deceased, so she can live with the man she wants to live with. So it was nice to see that ending. And they set up, obviously, for those of you who have seen the movie already, there is an end credit scene. Black Manta is not dead, just like he said, and he shows up with Dr. Shin. So you have that as well, and that sets up what I'm imagining is going to be a sequel.
I do have a question for anybody in the chat that's watching right now, or anybody has seen it. Leave it in the comments down below. Did they retcon a little bit of Justice League? Because we were sitting in the movie theater, and I could have sworn that him and Mira had
a conversation.
Well, they had a scene
in Justice League,
but in this movie, he asked her what her name was,
and he had never saw her before, seen her before,
and he also never been in Atlantis in this movie. Mm-hmm. Now, in the Justice League movie, because she mentions that he fought Steppenwolf.
Yes, someone else
in this movie.
Yeah.
So, did they retcon the fact that they had met, or that he had been, maybe, I guess, where they were in Justice League was not Atlantis? I don't know.
Yeah, well, they weren't, when they were talking, I don't think they were in Atlantis. I think they were in some ruins, maybe, of something.
Okay, so maybe it's like some outskirts.
Off of Iceland or something like that.
I guess maybe some outskirts of Atlantis. I don't know. But I really could have sworn that they had met, and they kind of knew each other in Justice League. And in this movie, it felt like they had just met. So I don't know.
No, and that's how I felt too, because I asked you the same question while we were sitting there watching the movie. And so if anyone knows, did they retcon it a little bit? Is it that they feel like, well, let's just start fresh?
Maybe they did. Maybe they wanted to kind of do a soft reboot. I don't know. Because you got Wonder Woman coming up next year, and we don't know the next year, right?
Did they? I think they pushed it back because of whatever reason. Hold on.
2020?
I think they pushed back to
what? Man, there. Anyway, DCU, I swear. We don't know the future.
Shazam's coming out, though.
Yeah, that's going to save the DC universe. Maybe. I don't know. They can't even call him Captain Marvel. They have to call him Shazam. Because, well, we have Batman. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with Batman.
June 5th, 2020. They pushed it back a year. I think because maybe Captain Marvel, or something like that, or Avengers. There was a reason. I don't know why they pushed it back.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I really thought it was coming out next year.
Shazam, I believe, Shazam and Joker are coming out next year. So those are the DC. That's the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
So those are the two big DCEU movies coming out next year, and then Wonder Woman's coming back out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't know what they're gonna do. They could do a Crisis on Infinite Earths or Flashpoint, whatever.
Yeah.
So they could reboot the whole universe and just keep Jason Momoa and Gal.
Yeah, because I would love to see more of Jason Momoa. I think he's a great Aquaman. I don't think they need to get rid of him anytime soon, and he needs to continue to have a say or a presence in the DCEU. So speaking of that, you said, so this is your favorite DCEU movie? If you had to say, of the current DCEU, we're not talking about the Dark Knight trilogy or anything like that. We're talking about what we've seen since Man of Steel. Is this
okay?
Since Man of Steel, let's not get into the other stuff.
I think this is up there with Wonder Woman. I wasn't one of these guys that hated Justice League. I didn't think Justice League was as bad as people.
The CGI on Steppenwolf wasn't great.
The CGI on Mustache Mouth wasn't that great either.
That was terrible.
But it wasn't as bad as people let me to believe it was going to be. Now, Batman versus Superman, that's another story. I think out of all of them, probably this or Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Not that there has been that many. I did not care for Suicide Squad, but
no, I didn't care for that either.
Yeah, this or Wonder Woman.
Claire
I think
Delamine's character.
Who?
Carrot. She played Enchantress.
Oh
Cara
yeah.
Delevingne in Suicide Squad. Raymond asked, was Jason Momoa's portrayal enough to stay in the entire film, as opposed to being part of the Justice League?
That's hard to say because
he had a lot of supporting actors to jump off of.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of hit. Yeah, that helped a lot. Even so, spoilers. There's a scene where I know, but just in case anyone comes up and they didn't read what you wrote, when he's there getting the trident, there's the Karathan. Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks
voiced by Julie Andrews,
which is awesome.
Mary Poppins.
She was great. It was also great CGI on that monster as well. And and every scene he had, there's never a moment where he's by himself, having like a moment by himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's always someone
he was always feeding off of
yes,
someone else.
And I think that helps for him. It gives him that energy. So as long as that's there, sure, he could sustain the film.
I had an issue with, going into the film, I didn't think he was going to be able to carry a movie. Yes, he's a great looking dude, and he is huge. He's a funny guy, but can he carry a movie? So that was the question, like Ray had asked, can he carry a movie, or is he just somebody like that could be a member of the Justice League? And, I don't know. My first, I want to say I like this movie for what it was because it was fun, right? But maybe I need to watch it again to see if I really liked it.
Because you just enjoyed it the first time.
Yeah, because I was watching the movie theater.
Yeah.
Kind of, I had to watch, Star Wars: The Last Jedi twice to see
really understand
how I really felt about that movie. Yeah. Because I remember walking out of The Last Jedi and I was so confused. I'm like, I can't tell if I really liked that movie or I really hated that movie. I need to watch this again. This movie, yeah, it was fun, but if I go see it again, that may change. And yeah. But yeah, I think he did okay for what he was. For this kind of Aquaman, I think he did a good job.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was what they needed, and I think Jason Momoa did a fine job in the film. Yeah, I have no complaints about him, personally. There was
most ladies usually don't.
No, I mean when he had to show wonder, and he showed his wonder and surprise, especially when they're out in Atlantis. I mean, he did all the things he needed to do in the film. So yeah. But I'm excited too because, like you said, Patrick Wilson did phenomenal, and I love how it ended with when he sees his mother alive, thinking that she was dead, and he just
because he's his half brother.
Yeah, he's his half brother, and so he breaks down, and I think we know in the comics the two of them, are allies at some points and enemies at some points. So it's
depending on which version of Aquaman
you're going with.
Reading. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that relationship move forward if they decide to do a sequel and keep him in it, which I hope they do.
I think he'll make enough money to warrant a sequel.
Now, whether or not, killing it overseas right now. I don't know if anyone's watched,
or whether or not
there.
Warner Brothers decides to do anything with the franchise. That's up to them.
Yeah,
because they always seem to be making huge mistakes.
Well, we'll see.
So what was that? All you wanted to talk about? Was there any other point that you had on your
my
little
list?
Cheat sheet here?
Let's see. No,
because we talked about just about everything, right?
Yeah, we talked about just about everything.
Who was your favorite character?
Mira. Mine was Mira, 100%. Followed by Nicole Kidman.
So we talked about the really good graphics and CGI, right? Before we give our final score.
Yes.
One thing that threw me off was at the very beginning was the de-aging of
Nicole Kidman or
no, she was fine. No, Willem Dafoe a little bit, but no, his dad.
Yeah.
The de-aging of his father was so weird. Like it almost looked like he was talking to a CGI stand-in. And I couldn't even recognize the character because I'm like, I'm trying to figure. My head is trying to wrap around this CGI character. I'm like who is this actor supposed to be? And then when you finally see him, like, oh, I've seen that guy 100 times.
100 times.
His young CGI version really didn't look that much like him. So that was the only complaint I had. Because I mean, I hate comparing it, but Marvel has done such an amazing job de-aging.
Yeah, with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, they just Michael Douglas. I mean, they really can't. They must have patented. I don't know, but they have a good person in play who does the de-aging process for Marvel.
The Willem Dafoe stuff, that was pretty good.
It wasn't bad, no.
I thought they did a good job taking away his wrinkles and things like that. Probably a little makeup and some CGI with that.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, you could tell that
they did, but to be fair, she still looks beautiful. So I mean,
absolutely.
You could probably pulled it off if she was.
Got just a couple gray hairs. So she's
I mean, being an Atlantean, it could have been just an ageless thing where you didn't need to de-age them. They could have just been what they are because they are these otherworldly beings, right, in a way. So
did you like the special effects on the whole the big Kraken creature towards the end during that big battle. I thought that was really well done.
I think it was really well done. I love the battle.
The beautiful scene with the trench where you seen in the trailer where he's coming down with the light.
With the flares.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous cinematography there. Just lovely.
That movie's going to look stunning in 4K.
Yes,
you
4K.
Have a 4K
and
player,
yes,
4K
please
television.
see it in 3D. We didn't, but I think it would be worth a watch in 3D.
That was great visually. But yeah, I'm with Tim. The CGI on the dad was really jarring. I was like, who the hell is this guy supposed to be?
Who is he? And then when he got older, we're like, now we know who that actor is.
But no, I think the creatures, like I remember in the trailer, I'm like, oh my god, this is like Star Wars, not the Force Awakens, the first Phantom Menace, where you have Jar Jar's people and then the droids fighting. That's what it kind of reminded me of. I'm like, oh god, no, but no, it turned out to be really good. The special effects were pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, well done on those. I agree.
Let's see. The only other thing I could say bad about it, it's not that big of a deal, is I think they missed an opportunity about his background a little bit, his kit when he was a child.
Yeah, you only see flashbacks of it when he's trained with Volko and when he's a young boy and with the bullies, and that's pretty much.
Yeah, but the bullies, that was on the trailer. What you see in the trailer is what you get.
I wish it wasn't in that one. I wish wasn't in the trailer. I know it sounds crazy, but I just wish there are certain parts that weren't in the trailer.
He talks to fish, which makes me think well,
that was a cute scene when they go into it was a humpback whale. It was a big whale, and he talked to it, and it let it in his mouth.
Pinocchio.
Yeah.
He mentions Pinocchio. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Did you enjoy the CGI Topo? His octopus?
Yes.
Beating the drums?
Yes.
You got Little Mermaid vibes.
Oh, so many, and maybe because Mira's a redhead. I don't know, but so many.
Well, she was in that one dress, in that white dress. You were like, oh my gosh, she'd play the perfect Little Mermaid.
She would be the perfect Little Mermaid.
She's wearing a wig. She's not a redhead.
Well, doesn't matter. It's a great wig. Well, she played the Wonder Woman stuff when she was in Italy so well.
So that's an Easter egg from the comic books because Topo was his.
I didn't know that.
Was one of his sidekicks like during the 60s.
That's cool.
The only reason I know that is because he was like in one of the weird obscure comic books I had, like a 2-in-1.
Gotcha.
But let's see. Was there anything else that you wanted to cover before you give your final grade?
No, I mean, other than that, I think we pretty much covered all of it. There is a really funny part that my husband brought up in the beginning of the film with Black Manta and his dad. They're in the middle of their heist, and they've just killed the captain of this naval ship or naval submarine they're going through, and he decides to stop to tell him how proud he is, and then give him this kind of long story about his own father, who was called Manta, and show him this old knife. And my husband's like, really? That's the time you want to do this? That's the time when you...
Well, and you figured, oh my God, this is the knife that's going to be able to cut Atlantean skin.
Right, exactly. No,
I don't think they bring it even back up ever.
No,
again.
they don't.
I think he stabs him with the knife.
He tried to or something. I don't remember.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, and that was the only problem. I think is just they wanted to introduce Black Manta so they can use him later on, but I don't think they need to introduce him in this movie because they really had to.
Visually, he looked amazing. He looked just like.
Yes, they did a great job there.
And I think that was mainly there for people that read comics.
But they just smushed his origin story so within 5 minutes.
Yeah, they should have just made a movie about him and Aquaman. Maybe he'll come back for the second one and it'll be nothing but a Black Manta and Trench movie.
That'd be awesome.
So I'd be good with that.
Yeah.
All right. Final score. What would you give it?
Okay. All right. What was my final score?
You had to stretch. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
It was enjoyable, but not be it for some of the cheesy dialogue.
That's what I would give it. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Solid,
If you know what you're in for, you're in for a fun popcorn flick to take a break from the holidays. That's when you go see Bumblebee. I'm kidding. You go and see Aquaman. It's not a bad comic book movie. It's tons better than fucking Ant-Man and Wasp. I know you like that, but no. It's a lot better than that. It's a lot better than most of the DC stuff. So to me, it's up. God, yes. To me, it's up there with Wonder Woman. Like I said, Wonder Woman to me never wasn't one of these movies that was like, oh my gosh, reinventing the wheel. Nothing like that. But it was a good, solid flick, and I think this was too. Despite of all the little flaws that it had, it was still fun.
Yeah, it was still fun.
Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
What did you all think?
For those of you who did already see it, type in your comments below. Let us know what you thought of the film.
Yes. Yes, let us know what you thought of the film. And tomorrow we have a pre-recorded
review of Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to that. That should be released 11 a.m.
Yeah, I guess I have a deadline
He
now.
has a deadline now.
So 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, come back to the channel and you can see our review of Bumblebee.
Yes.
And next Saturday, we're releasing the remakes.
Yes, we're doing a whole
should they not
do remakes, and if they do, what should they have in them?
And if you enjoyed this live version of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar, actually it should be Omar and Amanda, but that's okay. She can have one thing.
Yeah, thanks, Omar.
Let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to do this again. This was kind of a last minute thing put together, but
trying to figure out how to do 2 movies in one weekend.
Yeah. So, and don't forget to check out Old Reader, New Reader when we come back on January 1st, and our weekly show that comes out every Thursday.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you, Tim. He wholeheartedly agreed with our thoughts on
Well, good.
Maybe glad. My thoughts, not hers, right? Obviously, she's wrong.
Even though we both wrong. How am I wrong?
We gave it the same grade. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope. I think that's everything.
Okay.
If we don't have any more comments in the chat below, just make sure, guys, to hit the like and subscribe button so you can keep seeing more amazing content from our Near Mint Condition family. And don't forget to subscribe to all of our social media outlets at Near Mint Con. So I guess with that, me and Omar are going to sign off. So until next time, remember, if it's not classy or cool, then it's not Near Mint. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.
Is that our new saying?
That is our new saying.
Okay.